Today, we're diving into a new bylaw that will have an impact on Toronto's rental market. So what I'm referring to is the RENOVICTION bylaw, which comes into effect on July 31st, 2025. So whether you're a landlord, tenant, or just curious about changes in the housing industry, this video is for you. Hi there and welcome. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sonia Ramgobin, realtor with RE/MAX, servicing the Durham Region and the GTA. And my hope is that these videos will keep you informed and help you navigate the real estate market with confidence. So first things first, what is a renoviction? So a renoviction happens when a landlord asks a tenant to move out, claiming that they need to do major renovations to the home and require that the unit be vacant. So this request from landlords has raised a lot of controversy because many tenants are saying that it's often used as an excuse to either hike up rent or replace tenants with those who are willing to pay more under new lease terms. Apparently, over the past few years, renovictions have been on the rise, leaving many renters in a tough spot. And it's said that these tenants who are forced out due to a renovation, they often struggle to find affordable housing that they can qualify for. So based on these concerns, this new bylaw is being implemented to curb the misuse of renoviction claims and protect tenants from unfair evictions. So starting as of July 31st, 2025, landlords in Toronto will face stricter rules if they plan to evict tenants for renovation purposes. So let's take a closer look at how this new bylaw will impact landlords wanting to do major renovations on their rental property. So I'm going to give you a general overview of the steps landlords need to follow based on information from a news source. However, I strongly recommend reaching out to your local municipality to review the specific guidelines that apply to your specific area. So with that being said, here's the process. So first, the landlord begins by serving the tenant with what we call an N13 notice, which is a notice to end your tenancy because the landlord wants to demolish the rental unit, repair it, or convert it to another use. So next, the landlord must apply for a building permit in the city where the rental property is located. After that, within 7 days of serving the N13 notice, the landlord is required to apply for a rental renovation license. And this license comes with a cost of about $700 per unit. Lastly, the landlord must submit a report explaining why the renovations or the maintenance work requires that the tenant move out. So those are the main steps landlords must follow to start major renovations on their rental properties. But that's not all. Landlords are also required to take additional steps to compensate tenants. So let me explain further. So according to this article, if a tenant chooses to return to the unit after the renovations, the landlord must provide a plan for temporary housing that is comparable and at a similar rent cost. However, if the tenant finds their own temporary housing, the landlord is required to cover the rent difference through a rent gap payment. But wait, that's not all. If the tenant decides not to return after the renovations are complete, the landlord must pay a severance compensation. So this is definitely a lot to take in, and the article doesn't even go into details about how this compensation amounts are going to be determined. So in my opinion, this new bylaw seems designed to discourage landlords from pursuing any type of major renovations that require tenants to vacate due to the complex and costly process involved. Also, it's important to note that this new bylaw also includes a hefty fine for non-compliance. So just something landlords may want to consider to avoid penalties. So for tenants, this bylaw is another means of protection. Under this new rule, landlords will need to provide more proof that the renovations are necessary and justify why the unit needs to be vacant. And on top of this, tenants will also have the right to return to their unit after the renovations are complete, often at the same rent cost or with only a legally allowed increase. So overall, it is clear that this bylaw is about protecting tenants from unfair eviction. But the question I have is, will it discourage landlords from investing in much needed property updates? Only time will tell, so we'll just have to keep a lookout for this. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this new renoviction bylaw. Do you think it's a step in the right direction? Or do you think there's any aspect of this new law that concern you? Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me if you shared it. That way you could help someone else that might benefit from this information. Until next time, take care and stay informed. Talk to you soon.